What's happening, everybody? I hope you guys have been having a great week, and it is about time to bring us into the weekend by looking at some of the top bets that we have over at OddsShopper today. So as you come in, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want any more of the bets or data that we have here over an OddsShopper. Check out a free trial, 7 days, totally free for you, no risk that you get access to by clicking on the link that we have right below this in the description box. And let's get some of this data on screen. Starting with tonight's NBA game, we have the Boston Celtics at home against the Miami Heat. And surprising to me, the Heat took game one. I was not expecting the Heat to win that game. And now we have the Boston Celtics favored by 9 points. And let's see what's standing out from a projections standpoint. And a little bit different from the early bets that we had yesterday, where there were a bunch of unders that were projecting well in the initial projections for last night's game between the Denver Nuggets and Los Angeles Lakers. And most of them ended up hitting. I know a lot of people probably didn't feel comfortable after the game scored 1,000,000 points in game one, but this one, we have some overs that are projecting well here. One that is right at the top of the board here for us is Al Horford over 1.5 threes. And old man Al Horford has played bigger minutes in the playoffs. Same thing happened last year as the Celtics made their march to the finals. We saw Horford go from playing, mid-20s minutes in the regular season to playing extended minutes in the playoffs. And obviously that is going to benefit his counting stats. And for the season overall, Horford averaged over 2 threes per game. So the fact that he's now playing more minutes and he averaged 2 threes per game in the regular season seems a little off to me. That his 3-point line only 1.5, and not that much juice either. -125 at Tipico is the best available bet. We have it winning right around 60% of the time. So I would play this as high as like the -135 at DraftKings as well. A little bit of an undervalued Al Horford here. It's not that 1.5 is a terrible line. It should just have much more juice. This should be like -160 or something like that. Another one that looks fairly short here, Robert Williams over 6.5 rebounds. And Time Lord back in the starting lineup for the Boston Celtics. That was huge in them coming back and closing out the series against the Philadelphia 76ers. Game one of this series, we ended up getting 26 minutes out of Time Lord. He pulled down 7 rebounds, which would be good for the over. But 2 games ago, he played 30 minutes. And here's something where game script, I think, makes a massive, massive difference in how many rebounds we'd expect from Robert Williams. One of the reasons Time Lord didn't play as many minutes in the fourth quarter down the stretch of the last game is the Celtics were trailing. And with that in mind, they just had to get extra shooting on the court. They closed with Malcolm Brogdon. They went smaller in a lot of the fourth quarter to get more three-point shooting on the court. If they are winning tonight's game, I don't think that is going to be the case. And the Boston Celtics are favored by 9 points today. The most likely scenario to me is that Boston is leading for the majority of the game, and they have their best defensive unit in the later of the game, which includes Robert Williams. So he hit over 6.5 rebounds in the last game. Overall, for the year, we saw Time Lord make 23 starts, including the postseason. He's averaging 8.9 rebounds per game as a starter this year. And I think it stands to reason that we're going to see him go well above 6.5 rebounds as long as he sticks in the starting lineup and the Celtics are leading, which should be the case when they're favored by 9 points. Nothing else really standing out too much here. These are the 2 bets I like the most. Al Horford over 1.5 threes, and then Time Lord Robert Williams over 6.5 rebounds. Let's go ahead and look at baseball. We had a really good baseball slate yesterday. My favorite bet of the day was Yuri Perez for over 4.5 strikeouts. I posted that in our chalkboard channel. Ended up hitting in the 3rd inning. That is going to be the last time of Yuri Perez's career that he's an over-under 4.5 strikeouts. One of the top pitching prospects in baseball, has great stuff. Cash for us yesterday. I don't think we're going to get that opportunity again. If you guys want those bets for myself and Loft, we've been posting a lot of bets in chalkboard. There's a link below. Download Chalkboard. It is totally free to download the app and get into our channel. We post extra bets in there and then also sweat some of out with you guys. Let's see what's looking good here. Aaron Judge finally back and healthy. Fairly low number here. Over under 1.5 total bases for Aaron Judge. We're not looking at a lot of juice in this. Judge got off to a decent start this year, but then a hip injury. He also had a hand injury at one point, landed him on the injured list. No issues as of late. Aaron Judge has been just crushing the ball as of late. He's back at his MVP form from a year ago. 1.5 is not a high enough total base prop when you're looking at him playing in a very hitter-friendly ballpark in Cincinnati. And Cincinnati also just is absolute dog shit for pitchers. Starting rotation's no good. The bullpen's no good. I expect a big series from Aaron Judge over the weekend, starting with him going for over 1.5 bases on Friday. Something else to consider here, Carlos Carrasco under 3.5 total strikeouts. I'd want a little bit more information on a pitch count, though, for Carlos Carrasco. My expectation is that he is not going to work, especially deep in this game. So Carlos Carrasco has been pitching in the minor leagues to start the year. He's made 3 starts, 13 innings. Let's see, how deep did he go into his last minor league start? 5 innings. He also hasn't been pitching that well in the minor leagues. Yeah, I could get on board with Carlos Carrasco under 3.5 strikeouts. Tough strikeout matchup against the Guardians. Carrasco is now 36 years old. He's had a long history of health issues, injuries, things along those lines. So Carlos Carrasco, yeah, give me the under on the 3.5 strikeouts for him. And oh, by the way, I did misspeak a little bit there because I was looking at the last start he made in the big leagues was for 5 innings. Let me look at his rehab start. Okay, yeah, my bad. His last rehab start, he only went 4 innings in that one. The 5 innings was his last major league start before he got hurt. So, yeah, with Carrasco only going 4 innings in his last rehab start, hard to think we're going to see an extended leash out of him, as is at the big leagues this year. 8.56 ERA, 7.4 FIP prior to getting hurt. I think we're seeing the decline of Carlos Carrasco. Give me the under on 3.5 strikeouts for him. What else, if anything? Hey, Pete Alonso. We have him with a 13% ROI to homer today. Good for a 24% win rate. Good for a 13% expected ROI. Pete Alonso, who is now leading the major leagues in home runs, I think that is a pretty good bet to look at. So Pete Alonso to hit a homer today, plus 370, and it's plus 360 at some other spots. But yeah, 20. Let's see. Let's plug this in. If I go to an odds converter, what would I play this up to? So a 24% expected win rate, that would be a fair line we have of plus 317. So anything better than plus 317 is going to be value on Pete Alonso. And obviously the plus 370 certainly fits that bill. Let's go build a parlay. Start with Prize Picks, then we'll go ahead and look at FanDuel. And then that'll bring us into the weekend. So a lot of these are going to be some props that we've already looked at. But some of the lines different for Prize Picks. 6-leg flex parlay, good for a 21% expected ROI. Malcolm Brogdon over 21.5 PRA. Bryce Miller over 4.5 strikeouts. One of the better young pitching prospects in baseball. Tough matchup against the Braves, but this is a very talented young pitcher with really good stuff. Derek White over 12.5 PRA. Ranger Suarez over 4.5 strikeouts. He made his season debut last time out. It was in Coors Field against the Rockies. Always hard to put too much stock into a Coors Field start, but I did watch that game, and Suarez's stuff looked to be on par with what it was in previous years. He was hurt at the start of this year, so I don't mind Suarez over 4.5 strikeouts. Then we've got the Al Horford over 1.5 threes, the Carrasco under 3.5 strikeouts. This is our 6-leg flex parlay on Prize Picks. Good for 21% expected ROI. Let's build a FanDuel parlay now. And, well, actually, I kind of want to look. So the best parlay available at BetMGM for us is a 19% expected ROI. Best DraftKings parlay, 14% expected ROI. And then the best FanDuel parlay, 33% expected ROI. Now, part of that is because it includes a Jokic bet for tomorrow. We're going to take that out. And, well, either way. All right, so we got a 4-leg parlay, and it's covering a lot of different stuff here. We've got Belak for under 4.5 strikeouts at plus money. Then we've got Zach Allen under 6.5 strikeouts, Jaylen Brown under 34.5 PRA, and then Brewers Rays over 7.5 runs. This is a 7% expected ROI on 13-1 odds. Let's see, what was that BetMGM parlay? What was the BetMGM one? 19%. And yeah, this is all stuff for tomorrow. So a lot of stuff we've already talked about. Brought up the Belak. That was over on FanDuel a second ago. Bryce Miller, Carlos Carrasco, Aaron Judge, Al Horford. So these ones at BetMGM, good for a 19% expected ROI on a 21-1 parlay over at BetMGM. So if you guys want to place a parlay today, there's one that makes a good amount of sense in our projections. And that does it for me. I hope you guys have had a good week betting-wise. And also, if you want additional questions, if you have additional questions for myself, if you have comments, like I said, go check out Chalkboard. It is totally free to download. And if you guys could also do this before you leave, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I hope you all have a great weekend. See you back here on Monday.